Welcome back, guys. Today we are going to talk about what would happen if humans had no teeth. If you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. You would not exist. Not you. Not your ancestors. Not anyone alive on Earth today. So how did small bones in your skull become the difference between your survival and extinction for your entire species? Your teeth are not just there for looks at dinner parties. They are doing something your ancestors needed desperately to survive. Without teeth, you cannot break raw meat into small enough pieces. Your stomach acid alone cannot do that work. It is like a river trying to wear through granite. Possible, but that takes centuries. You need dinner in hours. So your teeth do the grinding work first, shredding meat into pieces your stomach can actually digest. And grinding, breaking it down into pieces your stomach can process. Picture a group of early humans gathered around a killed deer, except nobody has teeth to chew it. They can swallow thin strips, maybe, but most of it stays stuck. The meat sits in their mouth, cannot go down their throat. Their bodies starve because the meat rots right there, useless, before it ever reaches the stomach. So they try another option, and here is where the real problem starts. They could cook the meat longer, make it soft enough to swallow without chewing. Sounds simple at first. It is not. And this works. For a while, the meat becomes soft, almost pre-digested. But here is the trap. Cooking meat requires fire, and fire requires constant tending. Every moment someone is not hunting or making tools, they are now tending flames. The fire pit becomes a second full-time job, one that never stops. Your hands that could have been making weapons or clothing or shelter are instead always feeding branches into flames. That is the real hidden cost of toothlessness. You do not save time cooking, you lose time doing everything else. But here is the real problem. Fire does not last forever. When your fire dies, you cannot cook meat anymore. Without teeth or fire, you starve. Restarting fire takes hours in good weather. In a blizzard at night, it might be impossible. You need friction, heat, dry kindling, and knowledge. Someone has to remember how. Meanwhile, hypothermia is killing your group. Your fingers go numb first. Then your mind stops working. Then your heart does. If everyone dies before the fire restarts, the knowledge dies with them. Your species never learns fire making at all. You simply do not survive the cold. So teeth are not really about chewing. They are about something deeper. Independence from fire. That is what teeth actually give you. Can eat raw meat if you can tear it with your teeth, swallow it, and digest it without cooking it first. But raw meat is dangerous in ways cooked meat is not. Parasites live inside raw meat, waiting for your stomach to call home. Heat kills them dead. Just 140 degrees Fahrenheit for a few minutes, and every parasite is gone. But without fire and without teeth, you have no way to keep meat safe. Your group would have eaten contaminated food within days. Dysentery sets in within days. Your gut fills with parasites. You lose the ability to move. You cannot hunt or carry water. Half your group is helpless. The other half watches them fail. This is not slow starvation. It is collapse in weeks. Before anyone realizes what happened, the group is gone. You are alone. So here is what really happened. Humans without teeth became trapped in a survival strategy that could not fail. They needed fire every single day, but fire fails without warning. One volcanic winter, one blizzard at night, one accident with flames, and the whole species vanishes. This is not just theory. The fossil record shows us that species have vanished precisely when they became dependent on something they could not replace. Giant ground sloths ruled the grasslands for millions of years. Then the climate shifted and their food plants died out. They could not switch to anything else. Their whole body was built for digesting one single food. Their teeth, their stomach, everything specialized. But your ancestors had teeth, and that changed everything. Teeth meant flexibility in how you survived. You could eat raw meat when fire went out without dying from parasites in days. Teeth meant you could make fire optional, not mandatory. That freedom changed everything. It reshaped human groups forever. Without constant fire tending, more hands were free to hunt, to craft, to move. A group of 20 people keeping a fire alive constantly is a 20-person operation on the brink of collapse every single day. But your ancestors had teeth. They could split into smaller bands, each hunting separately, each surviving on their own. A smaller band could move faster, hunt in parallel, and still share kills across separate camps. That flexibility allowed your kind to spread across every continent, every climate, every deadened environment. You live now because your teeth made your ancestors unpredictable, mobile enough to abandon fire when survival meant leaving. Now imagine the other way around. A species of humans with only gums, smooth mouth, trapped in one place, tending one fire, unable to move without the light. They would have built permanent settlements. Yes, but born from necessity, not choice. They would have discovered agriculture eventually, but only because they had no other choice. Not freedom, not innovation, just desperation wearing the mask of progress. Agriculture tied them to the land. Forever. One permanent fire burning at the settlement center. If that fire died, everyone starved. No way to restart it in winter without hours of work. No way to leave and find food elsewhere. That is the world without teeth. Bound to seasons, to one plot of dirt that now owned you as much as you owned it. Your teeth gave you freedom, the freedom to leave. A toothless ancestor would have been trapped by fire, bound to it every day, unable to choose. Every city you see now started with that single choice, stay or go. A toothless species would have built something completely different, permanent and terrified. One flame burning forever at one settlement. Not just cooked meat. Not just a backup plan. They gave you choices about where to live. A toothless group anchored to one fire would never have left that spot. Developed a completely different relationship with the land. They would have needed to return to that same fire every night, which meant building shelter nearby. Storing food, marking territory. These are the building blocks of permanent settlement. They would have emerged not from choice, but desperation. Once you could not eat raw meat safely, agriculture became your only option. And with farming comes ownership. Land that you planted became land you owned. You carry that choice in your teeth right now, every time you bite down. Your ancestors had the freedom to move. They could hunt across grasslands, follow herds into new territories, abandon one camp for another, to turn back when a season went wrong. That single choice you could make or unmake reshaped human culture itself. Without teeth, humans would not have chosen farming. Desperation would have forced it. Farming would have been survival, not progress. And survival feels like a cage. Every kingdom and empire that came after rests on one ancestor who could have left but chose to stay. So what does it mean that you carry this freedom in your teeth right now? It means you are not chained to a single survival strategy the way that toothless species would have been. When you walk into a city today, you are walking through the physical record of that freedom. Every building, every street, every trade route exists because your ancestors could move, could hunt, could choose where to sleep. A toothless species would have built something completely different. Cities arranged not around markets and gathering places, but around fire pits. No family ever ventured more than a few hundred meters from the flame. That is not a city. That is a tether, a prison of your own making. Your teeth freed you from that. And you are still carrying that freedom now. Your actual city spread because you could hunt elsewhere, sleep elsewhere, trade elsewhere without abandoning your survival source. That freedom is the engine of everything you build, not just survival, But the art and music and stories that only happen when survival is not the only option. So when you bite into food right now, you are not just eating. You are making the same choice your ancestors made thousands of years ago. To stay mobile, to stay free, to refuse the trap of a single fire. Every tooth in your head is a tiny bone that says you do not have to stay. The reason you are here, the reason your mind works the way it does, the reason you can read these words right now, this right now traces back to a single fact. Your mouth was never supposed to be empty. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed watching this video, please click the like and subscribe button.